Hello, YouTube fans. Here again. I've not done Dias for a bit. It used to be one of my favourite soaps, and I will say he used to be. And the reason why I say he used to be, it got me thinking. This one got me thinking, and it was to do with Victoria Principal. Everyone know who the fuck I'm on about. It was the actress who we all know played Pam Ewing, being the beautiful Victoria Principal. I know now she's not long anymore. As sad as life is, we all get old and we all toss it, right? But back in the heyday, she was beautiful, she was pretty, she had a good figure on her, and so on. And what I'm getting at here, for people think if I go on the fucking houses, was Dias ever the same when Victoria Principal left Dias? Was Dias ever the same when Victoria Principal left it? Now, as we all know, in the 10th series, Pam Lewin woke up to find that Bobby isn't dead. It was all a fucking nightmare, but lasted over 2 fucking days. It's even today I laugh at it. I remember taking the piss about it. Say she must be in a fucking coma. But nevertheless, the series was still a good series. There's a few episodes that I love her off in the 10th series. There's a few I like. I like the fact they brought back Jock, even though it was a different actor. You find out it wasn't him. I like the fact that you had a mercenary going after fucking JR. If you ever wonder who the actor was, he appeared in, if I remember right there, Halloween 2. He's one that played the copper in Halloween 2. The original one, not the shit one, the one in 81. He played a mercenary. That's what I like that. You know, it's like I just see, you think JR's going to get it, he's going to kill his son, and they come and save the day. But I like that one. So the few I like, they weren't keen on the fact they put it on the cheap American fucking format, which like common in that era. But nevertheless, it still weren't bad. But this was the one where Victoria Principal decided she had enough. She wanted to go into other acting today. She wanted more money. She was pissed that Larry Hapman was getting more. There were all these rumours of why did she leave the role as Pam. And in all fairness, I just thought it sucked fucking ass. I thought it sucked dick. Because at the end of the day, it started off like she's in a car. She's in a car. And she's down the course. She's got some dickheads being a nuisance. Thinks she's going to have an accident. She fancies to get out of Dodge there. Stupid. It makes her kind of look stupid, really, because she's there dabbing on a fucking cell phone. Typical 80s cell phone, mind you. Not like the one we have nowadays. But she's dabbing away with Bobby. She's going to have another baby. Some chuck from the middle of nowhere comes out of nowhere like a fucking horror movie, and the car blows up. Blows up. Now, I do know in the 9th series, so we're going to do something like that where you think she's going to have an accident, but she pulls out in the nick of time, and that was in the 9th series. But in this one, she wasn't lucky. A big truck comes out of nowhere, she's screaming hysterical, and the car blows up. And I think it fucking sucks. I think it sucks. To me, it sucks on the way that they get rid of her character. It sucks. There's a bit of me what was hoping that Bobby was to wake up to find Pam with her beautiful tits hanging out, having a fucking shower, just like they did with the Resurrected East character. Sad to say, it was not to be. So you get the 11th series, you got what's supposed to be Pam, we all know it's not her, looking like a fucking mummy. And she suddenly leaves because she's not happy the way she looks, it's all burnt up. And I'm thinking, seriously, would Pam really do that? So they make her look stupid because she's had a phone, which wasn't really smart to do in a car. She gets blown up to look like a fucking mummy. Because she's burnt up, she fucks off and leaves her kid and her husband. And it just pisses me off. And I do know that in the 12 series, they wanted Victoria Principal. They begged her to come back, just like they did with Tilton as Lucy Lewin. But never to be. So we said you had some other actors imitating her, all burnt up to one side of the face, and apparently she's dying of cancer. You believe that, you believe anything. And I just thought the way they got rid of the character of Pam, in my eyes, my fucking eyes, sucks ass. Sucks assholes. Because I like Pam. No, she was a good looking woman in that era. I mean, you think about it, the very first ever story started with Bobby and Pam. I never saw Bobby with anyone else. You know what I mean? After that, Bobby was shagging anything that had a pulse. And it just pissed me off. And the storylines went downhill when Victoria Principal left. They went downhill. Think about it. You had one where Bobby Lewin is teaching Christopher the birds and the bees. He's only son about the birds and the bees, which is fucking Tinsworthy. You've got JR having it away with a girl long enough to be his fucking granddaughter. Not his daughter, long enough to be his fucking granddaughter. All fairness, I like Larry Hapman, but at that era, he was 50 odd, pushing 60 odd, having it away with a girl long enough to be his fucking granddaughter. That would have rubbed off in the early episodes when he was in his 40s and he weren't that old. But you're talking a guy in his late 50s, having it away with a girl long enough to be his fucking granddaughter. It's fucking Tinsworthy. You got Sue Ellen shooting him, and it looks like she shot the fucking cameraman. The fucking camera's wobbling about. Let's not forget that one. And then the last episode, what do we think? Let me think. JR gets haunted by Satan. And it has the shittiest tipped ending ever in history. And I'm thinking, ever since Victoria Principal left the role, it just went downhill. And it surprised me. It fucking surprised me that it lasted to a season 14, to series 14, after series 10. It amazed me how it lasted that long. There was a two good episodes in the 11th series about Victoria Principal. They brought back the story about Christopher getting rejected, and there's all little bits, I think, from the 5th series, and a little bit from the 4th series. And in my eyes, it's sort of brought back memory lane. It's interesting to see how long they were back in... It was interesting, I was about to say, see how long they were back in that golden era. You know, when you saw little bits of memory lane. I thought that was quite an interesting touch. But the 11th series, I could take it or leave it, you know what I mean? The cheap American format, it just wasn't the same without Victoria Principal. Wasn't the same, you know. Should I repeat myself? Back then, she was an attractive looking woman. She definitely also had a boob job, because I remember seeing her in early photos of Playboy. And she definitely had a good figure on her. And you know what I mean? It's like, say, the first few decent storylines, the first story, the very first pilot episode where Bobby marries Pam. Remember that one? Another good story where Pam's trying to get Lucy to change the rays. Let's forget the iconic storyline where they've resurrected Bobby. Oh, a nightmare. Bobby getting run over fucking Pam's arms, and so on. So there was always bits of me where I just wish to come back. Obviously not now, but back then. I know the tide, and it never happened. And to me, it broke me fucking heart because yeah, you had a few good characters. You know, you had April, you had other characters, but in all fairness, the storylines in my eyes just went cheap. You can boo-hoo me and call me names, but they did without Victoria Principal. I just think this is just me speaking my mind. I just felt it wasn't the same. And not only that, a lot of decent characters in the 10th series started to leave the show. You know, you had Donna do her last role. You had Sue Ellen leave the show. You had fucking all these other damn good characters leave the fucking show. And then you had some actors, fuck it, love doing it. Why not? Pieces of fucking wood. You had some pity boy come into it as JR's long lost son. Couldn't act his way out of a paper fucking bag just there because he looked pretty. And it just wasn't the same. But it's just how I think, you know. I'm not being honourable to people who love Dyers. I love Dyers. So I say it, the first series, I don't mind the third series. Damn good, you know, who sort of they are. You can definitely see how the ratings went up. The fourth series, even though sad to say the actor who was playing Jock, we all know he was dying in that era, and it's hard to watch today. It's too pretty dud. The fifth series, sort of repeat myself, sort of go on and on. They're all dud and do when they got to getting rid of Victoria Principal. That's how I see it. But you know, people might agree, don't agree. Makes the world an interesting place. But until then, people, be smart, be safe, talk about more politics, talk about more movies, talk about things on the way. Until then, see you later.